Hi, welcome to Raunchy Reality Recaps. Now, this week we're going over Chance and Tayler from Life After Lockup. And last week we saw Chance talking to his son and told him that he would buy him a plane ticket to come out there. Now, this week we catch up with Tayler. She's trying to call Chance on the phone. He doesn't answer. And then he ends up pulling up. So when he gets in, she's on the couch, and that girl looks like she's about to pop. And I really felt sorry for her being there stuck all day, that pregnant with all those kids. That girl's tired. So she ends up asking him, like, hey, I couldn't get a hold of you. And then Chance gives some crappy excuse saying, oh, well, I was probably in a dead zone, or my GPS put my phone on do not disturb. Yeah, like, I don't get that anywhere anyways. And it looked like Tayler knew could see through the crap too. So he ends up telling her that, hey, my son, I talked to him on the phone and he's going to fly out here. And he ends up telling her he bought the plane ticket too. And that's when she's like, you couldn't ask me beforehand, like call up, say, hey, I gotta talk to Tayler. And see if she says it's okay. Let me give a minute, which I understand Chance being a man and he probably doesn't want to have to tell his son, I gotta talk with the lady, but still he could have done it somehow, be like, yeah, let me check on that and make sure, see how we can do it, and I'll give you a call right back, and then call Tayler and talk to her. That's all he had to do. That's all she wanted. But no, of course Chance didn't. And then he says, I don't, we're not married, so you have no control or say of what I do. Yeah, that didn't go well with Tayler, because Tayler was sitting there. She was like, well, if I don't have any say or control on anything that you do, then I'm not getting married to you. Which is true, dude. Like, you're literally had a house with this woman, and, you're taking care of her 3 kids, which you probably want. I think he wanted her to be a stay-at-home mom, or, she's pregnant now, so she kind of has to be. And she's probably, all these debts and everything you're incurring, like, when you get married, she has to deal with that. So, yeah. And that's just financial, but, like, just think about, if he wanted to go hang out with women, like, she has no control and say that either. Like, what if she did the same thing and went and hung out with men? I'm pretty sure Chase would be the first guy to jump on that and say, heck no, you're not going to go hang out or have male friends or whatever. So, yeah, that was pretty low, dude. Pretty low. So, anyways, she ends up asking him, does he know I'm pregnant? And of course, Chance never told him, says he doesn't want to, stop that from, him not coming, which, okay, I get why, but dude, is that worse than telling him a lie? Like, you literally haven't seen this kid in years, since he was apparently a 2-year-old, and you're going to start it off with a lie. So, yeah. Chance, I just don't get him. So, Taylor was like, yeah, she wants. Taylor actually had a good head on her shoulders, and Taylor usually does, like, except when choosing a man that's in prison. Like, besides that, Taylor usually has a decent head on her shoulders, and that's why I kind of like Taylor, more than other ones that do not at all have a head on their shoulder whatsoever. And y'all know who I'm talking about, Heather. We all know her. So, anyways, yeah. And Taylor basically said, well, I just don't want him to feel some type of way because you weren't there for him, and now you're going to be here for my kids and this baby too, So she was thinking properly, you need to go ahead and tell him so he doesn't get here and feel some type of way. So we go to the next scene. And his son Ethan's about to pull up. They're waiting for him, cleaning the house, getting ready. He ends up pulling up, and Ethan, he's a nice kid. I think he's 21. He has nice curly long hair. That kid gets a great. I keep on saying he's a kid, but he's 21. But he has a great hair head on him. I love curly hair. I love long hair, especially on men. It always looks great, almost all the time, except if it's like Kid Rock. And then before actually Ethan arrived, Tayler asked Chance where they were going, and he says, "Oh, we're gonna go to a strip club." And dude, I don't know why you would tell your pregnant girlfriend about to pop that you're doing that, and who wants to do that with their dad, anyways? So Ethan shows up. They go inside, talk a little bit, and then Chance shows him around and shows him the baby crib, and Ethan's like, "Baby crib?" And Chance is like, "Yeah, we're having a little boy, all that." And, you can just kind of see, the kid holds back really well. But, that has to hurt him, and I'm sorry about saying all the time. I'm bad about that. So the kid has to have some feelings about that, especially, again, Chance not telling him until the last minute. You should have told him beforehand so that way he had time to process it. But no, you throw it all in him and this awkward situation to begin with. So Chance ends up taking him back to the living room. They're talking, and Chance mentions a strip club to him. And of course, Ethan, being the more mature person than his father, who's twice his age, understands that's awkward and weird. So good thing we didn't see this episode, because I don't think I would want to see it. And who wants to go to the strip club during the day if that was their plan? No, nobody goes to the strip club during the day. Are they even open? I mean, I don't think they live in a big city. I can understand a big city, but I'm pretty sure in their little city, they had to drive a few hours probably, and it probably wouldn't be open. Anyways, so they end up going to look like a little bar and grill restaurant, and they end up talking and everything. Oh, before that, actually, I'm sorry. Chance tells us that he hasn't seen Ethan since he was 2 and on a swing. He was pushing on a swing his last, memory has. And then Ethan basically says, he hasn't known this guy, basically his whole life, so it's kind of weird, which, again, it is kind of weird. So they're at the bar, and they end up start talking, and, Ethan, that poor dude, it breaks your heart just thinking about this, because the reason it hurts so bad, because millions of other kids go through it every day and for years and years. A lot of people have this same broken heart when they're a kid about having a parent that's not there. So he ends up talking about the only father figure he had was this guy named Lloyd, and thank goodness he wasn't his father, because he obviously Lord was probably a horrible person, and I definitely feel bad about that. And he explains that besides that, he never had a father figure, so basically kind of void of all these other kids that he didn't have. All these other kids had that father figure that now it's getting bigger and bigger where people don't have father or mother figures now, but he had that void, and it was hard. And then he got really teary, kind of teary-eyed. I'm not going to call the guy out, so he was crying on national television, but he got pretty emotional, and it was sad just knowing all that heartache from those years. And then Chance tries to explain that, he was trying to work a lot when he was young, trying to provide and everything, and then he got a injury, on the job injury, I guess, and he got prescribed medication, and that's just, apparently from what I can gather, that's where stuff started going downhill, for Chance, and he got in prison, and he's been out of prison all these years. So that's kind of what we gather from there. And again, it gets emotional, and his son mentions that he also, has addictions as well with money, like spending money. He says, he'll buy ticket to a concert thinking he can do that, and then a couple of nights out with food, it'll turn into he can't pay his rent, then he has to take it out of savings. And then Chance is like, savings is a foreign thing to me. Let's keep on admitting that you're bad with money and that you're in massive credit card debt. So anyways, Chance ends up talking to him, and he explained, or his son starts talking about how he knows people can change, and he thinks his father can change, and he's thankful that he has changed, to be able to take care of these kids, and I guess his future kid as well. And that's when, everything got emotional again, and they hugged and everything. And it was a nice moment. It was a nice moment. And then we go outside to the interviews, and Chance actually said the best thing that I have heard out of Chance's mouth. Like, literally the most common sense, responsible thing that Chance has ever said. And that is that he is glad his son didn't turn out like him. And I gotta applaud Chance for that. As much as I sometimes don't like Chance, I will applaud him for understanding that. And for being responsible enough and well-minded enough to realize that, yeah, it's a good thing his son didn't turn out like him. Because he didn't become a good person, or I'm not gonna say horrible person, but still, it didn't turn out good for his life. So I'll give Chance that. And so the next scene, and I will say they showed Taylor and Chance a lot in this episode at least, which I'm glad. I think it was due to this part of his son coming in. So anyways, the next scene we see Chance, Taylor, her kids, and his son all at this nice restaurant. It looked like an Italian restaurant because they had a nice cheese pizza, and that cheese pizza looked pretty good. They were all digging in and eating and everything, and then you see in an interview of Taylor talking about how Chance is basically showing off for his son and everything, but it's okay because it's his son and he's happy to see him and all that, which I'll give her that. I'm glad she, even though she's not aware of how much debt he's in, so I can't fault her for that, because she's unaware of it. But at least she was able to let him enjoy his son, or, I guess show off and smooch up his son, for a little bit for the first time. So I guess she's all right for that. But we all know he can't afford it, so we're going to see the train wreck happen. So anyways, he starts asking his son that, did you tell your mom you were coming up here or whatever, or how does she act? And his son said, I didn't, but she messaged me and said, oh, I see you took off, so, I told her, and she just said you didn't have to lie to me and to take care, which that's nice of the mother. I think that was a very mature act, very mature for the mother. So, the bill comes, and this is where we see the whole issue start to go downhill, and Taylor starts to find out exactly how bad financially Chance is in. So he starts flipping through his cards, and it was, if you can't afford it like that, don't go to a nice restaurant like that. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of other restaurants they could have gone to, but they're talking about if you got $70 on that card and then another $45. So I'm thinking it was a meal in between like $100 to $200, maybe a little bit more. But he was asking her to give her one of his, or him one of her cards. That's a tongue tie. So she ended up giving one of his cards. They had 3 different cards to pay with. He's telling the waiter which one to put how much money on and everything. And Taylor's embarrassed. You can tell, like, she's embarrassed. And then she starts talking to him, that it was kind of embarrassing, and he's like, start running his mouth. And that's when she's like, just shut up. Or no, she told him it was rude for them to do that, and then that's when he started talking back to her, and that's when she said, just shut up. And then he was like, well, that is telling somebody to shut up's rude too. And so that's where we leave this episode. Oh, before that, before we end the episode, and I do apologize about back and forth and everything. I'm getting better, but I have the attention span of an ant. So it's hard to keep up with things. I watched these like literally 2 or 3 times before, and then I still have problems remembering the whole episode. I'm going to have to start writing this down. This is a new channel, so bear with me. So anyways, before they ended up cutting out to the end of the episode, she ends up mentioning, like, he's working all this, Chance is working all this overtime, yet he's not having all this money. So what is he exactly doing? And also, why does he want to know so much about his ex? Why was he asking all those questions? So we're going to, girl, those pregnancy hormones are getting her, because she's starting to freak out. I swear she's going to start. I bet you she got home that night and went on Facebook, a deep dive for like hours. Facebook, so Instagram. She probably stayed up all night trying to figure out his password, I'll tell you that. Yeah, she got those. He's messing with her when she's pregnant. So she about to pop. And then you're being sneaky with calls and money. So, yeah, she probably went to Facebook that night. So, that's the end of the episode. Like and subscribe. If you have any more suggestions, anything like that, critique as well. I'm trying to cut down on the anyways, saying that in the mumbling and So, I apologize about that too. So again, we're going to have a subscriber giveaway at 100 subscribers. So share with everybody. And again, have any questions, comments, concern, like, subscribe, all that. Y'all have a great day.